Okay, in this tutorial we're going to show you an issue that pops up when you import one of the Second Life avatar OBJ files that you'd find on the Second Life wiki page into Blacksmith3D. It has to do with the symmetry not working quite right. I'm going to show you why it happens and how to fix it, okay? So first of all, I'm going to drag and drop the OBJ file for the female Second Life avatar into the viewport. And you didn't really see what I did there because I'm using a video capture program, which is it's called Fraps. It's very quick and zippy. It's especially good for doing screen capturing of games or things that are heavily graphically intense, like Blacksmith3D. But it only captures the window that you're in, nothing but the window. Anyway, besides that, to take the file from your Windows Explorer, drag it into the viewport in the middle here. Okay, pretty simple. And click OK. Now, if we take a close look at this model, and I'm going to just change the viewing mode by pushing F1 at this point. What is happening here? Okay, here we go, F1. Terribly sorry about that. So now we see this sort of breakage that's happening into the mesh. That's because these OBJ files were designed to go into Poser because they have corresponding CR2 files. And what they like to do is they like to break apart each body part from the seams here as if they're like different objects within the object. And it's annoying for the rest of us, but I'm going to show you how to get rid of that. So if you push before I got ahead of myself. I didn't show you what the problem is yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to try a symmetric selection operation here. So I'm going to go to Mirror and Symmetry, and I'm going to click on Use Symmetry. All right, here we go. Now, if you notice, this half of the model is shaded darker than the other. And if you notice in this strip right over here, it's shaded lighter and indicating it's not on the symmetric side. And this is indicating there's a problem with the symmetry, and I'm going to get a little deeper into it and show you what it is. And don't worry about this part being a little darker over here. That has to do with the shading of due to the breakage on the model. It has nothing to do with the symmetry. So I'm going to click in here a little closer, and I'm going to push the O hotkey. This is the wireframe overlay. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to click on the Morph tab, and I'm going to click on the Touch-Up Hammer tool. And smooth is there by default. I'm going to click and drag. Oh, I need to select a morph target first. Now I'm going to click and drag into the view, and I'm going to push Control A. There we go. Everything's selected now. I got a morph target chosen. I'm going to click and drag in the viewport, and voila. All right. What this is doing is I'm smoothing the mesh. Right, and then what that's doing is it's causing the seams to break apart because those vertices are not really attached. Now I'm going to undo that again and do it a little lighter. Just like this. Now, what I want to illustrate here is that you notice how the way this part is breaking apart over on this side versus this side is not quite the same. That's because when they were breaking up the objects into different groupings for the different body parts, they didn't do it quite the same from the left side and the right side. And so let me show you why this is going to affect our symmetry operation. It's so if you look at this vertex here, or rather these two vertices, one here and one here, that's two different vertices, right, that go to generally the same place. But over here, you just have a single vertex which has all these polygons attached to it, while over here, there's two. Now the symmetry operations work best when there's a one-to-one relationship. There's one vertex over here, one over here, and matches them up. So if you do something to this one, it gets done to this one. In this case, it's not quite right because we have two over here and only one over here. So if I go to say use the selection tool and I start making a selection over here, we notice that these ones, and I'm going to push the shift hotkey here, shift space hotkey to activate the hot selection view so we can see this a little better. As you can see, indicated right there. Now see, these vertices here just didn't get selected at all, and over here we have these. That's because of this one-to-one relationship that they don't have a matching partner. Okay, they're lonely vertices, and that's why they didn't get selected like the other ones did. So how are we going to fix this? It's easy enough. I'm just going to undo all of this stuff until before I smooth it out. Okay. Control A again. Control A selects all. That can also be found in the Edit and Select menu under Select All. Hotkeys are much faster. So, and then I'm going to click on this anvil tool here, this icon, and click on the Weld Vertices tool. and then I'm going to click on this weld button, and this is going to take all the selected vertices. It's going to find any ones that are on these seams over here, and it's going to weld them together. So I click on weld. Now if I go get rid of the wireframe so it's easier to see, now you can see there's no more breakage. That the model is just smooth and continuous over those seams. Now you might be, now at this point, if I just say here's my selection tool, and I got symmetry, let's toggle that on or off to sort of refresh it. There we go. Now if I do a selection over here, we see that that problem is gone away now. The selection is working beautifully, just as we expect, and there's no issues. But just to be on the safe side, what we're going to do is we want to get rid of all those free-floating vertices, because let me back up for just a second. This process here, this of welding the vertices, is a reversible process. It's kind of just doing it temporarily inside Blacksmith3D, but once you export that model, it's going to be exported unwelded, right? And so we're just going to make it permanent so we don't run into this issue again. So if you notice, just to illustrate that, I'm going to Control A and say click unweld, and voila, the welding has been undone. And then I click weld again. But I want to make that permanent. So the trick to doing that is, right now in Blacksmith3D, I should have a button here to do that, but haven't got around to it. So in the meantime, I'm going to show you the trick. Click on the Model tab, and any modeling operation is going to make that welding permanent, because the welding tools, the modeling tools don't like this reversible welding. So the second you do a modeling operation, it's going to get rid of it. And the trick is, if you undo, it doesn't undo the welding becoming permanent thing, so it'll stay that way. So once you do a modeling operation, like subdivide, for example, like this, and let's just show you what that looked like just for the curiosity. Now that welding has become permanent, but if I undo it, it's still permanent, right? So if I go back over to the weld vertices and I unweld, nothing happens. That's beautiful. Now we got one last thing we want to do, back to the modeling tab, is this here. It's called a touch-up modeler. And what this has is all these various things you can do to vertices and polygons. Down here is additional utilities, delete unused vertices. Now, after we did this welding, we're going to have leftover vertices sort of floating in space there, and they're not going to be attached to any polygons. And just in case they cause us any problems later on or whatever, we're just going to delete these and get rid of them. Okay, so I'm going to click on delete unused vertices, and there we go. Now I can Control U to unselect all. Let's get rid of that hot selection view, and now we have the our model, which is it's been cleaned up. It doesn't have those breaks in the seams. It doesn't have any leftover vertices, and now it's ready to do what we will with it. And in another video, I'm going to show you how to set up the texture maps for the second life avatars. The same concept can be used for other objects as well. So watch out for that video. And if you guys have any questions, please post them on the comment section below, or if any suggestions or what have you for other tutorials. I'm going to try to crank out as many videos as I can. I'm really excited. I'm just getting into Second Life now, and I've heard about it over the years, and I've never really sort of saw the lure to it. And once I got into it, I was like, I really see what this world is all about. So I want to make my software as Second Life friendly as humanly possible. So I'm really going to work hard towards that. I'm going to make lots of tutorials. I'm going to add an extra functionality to the software. So again, post your suggestions, subscribe to the channel so you get notified when new videos come up. And all right, so have a good one, guys. See you next time.